Coming up on Pope's Plates, we're making Gritwurst. You're going to love it.
Good morning. Today we're going to be making an unusual recipe. My ancestry is partly German, and my German ancestors came to the United States in the 1840s and brought with them a recipe for German sausage. I've got about a 7.5 pound bone-in pork butt. You'll see that I have shaved off a portion of the fat cover from this, and I'm going to be rubbing a little bit of salt and pepper into the pork. And we're going to cook this pork for 8 hours in a slow cooker. You can also do it 8 hours in your oven if you choose. This recipe has been altered since it was brought to the United States 160 years ago. In German, the word for the sausage is Gritwurst, and I said that very badly.
Gritwurst. Gritwurst.
It has been Americanized to be Gritwurst, which is a German sausage made of ground pork and steel-cut oats. It takes 2 days to make this. Not a lot of work, frankly, but you put the pork butt in the slow cooker, you cook it for 8 hours, and it will fall apart once you have taken it out. The pork butt has been cooking now for 8 hours. You can see how tender it is. The next step is to take it out of the liquid that has formed, put it into a bowl, let it cool a bit, and then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator to let it get cold enough to cut the fat away and leave only the meat. We'll get back to it again tomorrow. This is day 2 of our sausage preparation. Yesterday we cooked the pork butt for 8 hours. And we refrigerated it overnight. Now this morning, I'm gonna be working on removing as much fat from the meat as I can. This is a little bit of a messy process, and you will notice that I did have an injury chasing a cantaloupe around the counter. So I'm being very careful to keep my finger out of the meat. Yesterday, I cut off the bulk of the fat layer, the fat cap. But this was well marbled meat, which means that there is a good bit of fat in the meat, and you don't want that level of fat in the sausage. This is gonna take a while to go through. I will see you back here when I have finished this entire bowl.
A few moments later.
I have left part of this meat to show you sort of what it looks like. This was well marbled meat, and you can see that there are chunks of fat that are attached to the meat. You're gonna throw as much of that away as you can. You're gonna keep some of the meat. You'll lose some in the process. Don't worry about that. I'm not gonna finish this up because this is very, very fatty. I'm just gonna use the big bowl that I've got here, which is twice as much meat as I will need to make one recipe. So I will put this in the food processor, grind it up, and we'll put half of it in a baggie and freeze for later use. We'll be back. The next step in the process of making the sausage is to add 8 cups of chicken broth and 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt to a large pan. Then we will add 3 cups of steel-cut oats. You are not going to want this to cook too fast. It will take probably 25 minutes for the steel cut oats to cook. As the water begins to heat up, the oats will pop out of the pan. So you want to keep this over a medium-low heat and just stir it on a regular basis. Watch it until the water is absorbed into the oats. Again, this will take about 25 minutes. We will add additional seasoning when the oats have absorbed all of the chicken broth. As you can see, all of the chicken broth has been absorbed into the steel cut oats. It's time now to add some spices to this. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of pepper, 1 to 2 teaspoons of chili flakes. I add 1 because my family doesn't like it really hot. You'll add 1 tablespoon of thyme and 3 tablespoons of rubbed sage. Now these amounts can be adjusted. This is what my cousin Joe, who is a chef in his own right, experimented with and came up with this as the best combination. So you want to blend all of this in together, and you can see the consistency of the oats. When you're satisfied that it's been blended well, turn the heat off, and we have got the bag of chopped pork that we will add to the pan, and hope against hope that we don't have too much and it spills over. That looks like it's going to work. And we will fold the meat into the mixture of the oats. This is going to take a bit. When we are finished with blending this and folding it together, we will let the contents cool a bit and put it into a 9 by 13 pan that we have lined with plastic wrap so that we can turn the sausage out when it has set. So we'll come back to this after we have gotten it blended and put in the pan.
This is what our finished Gritwurst looks like. We turned it out of the pan and cut it up, and we fried this on the stove top. You can also add it to biscuits. It's a great breakfast sausage. It's a great any time of the day sausage, honestly. Make it and tell us what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for visiting Pope's Plates. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Click the notification bell so that you'll know when we have new videos available. And make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Until I see you again, let's get cooking!